Herm Schrader on the Dirty Mo Media platform. Kenny Schrader is in St. Louis, Missouri, and I am in Daytona Beach, Florida. The Herm Schrader Show starts right now.
What's the Winston Trophy? What is that trophy right behind your right shoulder? Oh, you're okay. You're in Florida. All right. I say, wait a minute, that looks different. Okay, I got it.
Yes, I am at Brother Rusty and Aunt Patty's house for Bike Week 2025, and you're the biggest bike rider there is, Kenny. I mean, you could teach us all a lesson about motorcycles.
Stay off them.
You are the epitome of riding motorcycles. Go ahead.
I don't have any money. They get better fuel mileage. That's why I ride them.
Man,
cost
man.
less.
How about the time? Listen, everybody, we're going to get to all the hot topics, but for right now, yes, I am in Brother Rusty, Aunt Patty's house here in Daytona Beach for Bike Week. But Kenny, I wasn't even going to go down this road. I think one time I watched you leave maybe Phoenix, Arizona, and you were riding your motorcycle to Miami Homestead?
I had a real small map, wasn't it? It didn't look that bad. Yeah, we went to Dallas, to Phoenix, to over to Homestead and back to Charlotte. It was fun. Good little ride.
You gained world news about 4 months ago. There's this Facebook site called I-70, like Interstate 70. Somebody took a video of you riding your trike in the snow through the mountains.
Yeah, it was challenging. It was fun. I should have looked at the weather a little closer before I was on a trike, so it wasn't near that bad. But that was just bad decision. But it was fun. It was a fun ride. But I got to go back to Bike Week. I've only been down there one time before. Sheldon and I went down. I need to come down, bring camper, and stay over where you guys hang out because I know Bike Week at Daytona is really rocking.
It is. Before we move on, I am intrigued because ever since I've known you, you've rode motorcycles. And when I say the epitome, like you're a real motorcycle rider and you do it right. When did you start? When was your love for motorcycles?
I mean, when I was 16, 17, 18, I always rode the dirt bikes, raced with your brother a lot when we were kids.
Yeah.
But I just rode an enduro bike on the streets and stuff. And then one day I bought a Harley. Someone needed to sell one. And I kind of enjoyed it, but I went and got rid of it and bought a Gold Wing. And then I got talking with Kyle some. Kyle's the one that really got me riding,
Yeah.
And especially some longer distance. But he's the one that did that. And, one of my favorite weeks. And, now you go on it. And you and Kim is the Kyle Petty ride the first week of May this year. And that's going to be a ride. That's always fun.
I am so looking forward to you being the leader. For everybody that's listening, early May, Kenny Schrader, myself, and I think we got some friends in Southern Missouri.
Yes.
We're going to leave. We're going to leave St. Louis.
Yeah, we're just going to go up to Michigan. Spend the
That's
night.
all.
Yeah, well, it's not. You just got to carry a small map. And then we're going to leave. The ride leaves on a Saturday, first Saturday, I guess, of May, from Traverse City, Michigan, and it winds up down in the Homestead, I think, in Virginia. But it'll be a lot of fun. Kyle does a phenomenal job on that.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I don't think we ever stop at red lights. He's so in tune.
Well,
Morgan with each
that's
city.
Because the policemen have them shut down. I mean, they have the interstate, or they have the intersections closed. We would stop.
Doesn't that amaze you how well organized that Kyle
really
Petty
fun.
charity ride is?
Yeah, Morgan's the one we got to thank for that.
Yeah, and it makes me happy that you and Ann are on the trike, and now that has made me. Kim, my wife, she said, you buy a trike. And I'm like, okay, because Kenny and Ann are on a trike. So I'm a rookie and I'm looking forward to that.
I have not fallen over on my trike since I put the third tire on. It made a huge difference.
Yeah. Kim said, I'm not riding with you on your motorcycle. However, if you go to trike, I will ride with you.
Okay. Smart decision, Kim.
Yeah. So to end this, Bike Week is going good. It feels weird to be in front of the Daytona International Motor Speedway, uh, because they set up all the bike parts. Harley Davidson is set up right there in front of the Daytona Speedway. Steven and I went there today to check out some parts. They got great parts that Steven buys from. And, but I thought about you today because it would be fun to have you down here. Okay. So you had an incredible weekend. You go first. What did you do?
We just went and raced Friday, Saturday night down in Springfield, Missouri. And last week, Jerry Hoffman's track, you've been there a bunch of times too. He just prides himself so much on the surface. I mean, you can race all over it. A week ago Friday, or a week ago Thursday, whatever it was, they were had a bunch of guys with Bobcats, and they were taking the snow off it and the whole parking lot. And then we were racing on it Friday and Saturday, and he had the track great. We just ran our little B-Mod down there, and as Harry Gant would say, we just happened to be leading at the end. But it was a fun trip. Always is Springfield.
So for everybody that's listening, Kenny's always very humble. Paid $2,000 in my car number, $36 to win. It was a great win.
Yeah. Didn't spend more than $3 or $4 grand, so it was a hell of a good weekend.
Hey, you only lost what? $970 this time, or 60, whatever it is. But there were some hot rods there, and besides being a really good dirt racer, you really liked that.
Late Miles too, and Late Miles put on a great show.
Gordy Gundaker, our hometown friend, he runs second.
Yeah, the little Stucky boy ran. He won it.
Yeah,
but the Black Diamond cars. I think of Black Diamond, right? Yeah, out of Louisiana.
Yeah, but I think the big story for everybody that doesn't know a lot about dirt racing is the will and the wanna. As the great Dick Trickle said, you gotta wanna. Jerry Hoffman wanting to run this race when there's snow on the ground.
Well, it was, they didn't have as many cars as he was hoping for. Yeah. They had, I think, like our class was one of the slimmest. It had 20, right at 20, even 20. But he announced that it's a go for next year, same weekend. And, there's a lot of people, when it was put on a schedule, never thought it'd happen. And there's a lot of people who didn't bother to get the cars ready because they didn't think it was going to happen. So, guess what? He took the snow off the place. We caught really good weather Friday. It was bearable Saturday, and it happened, and it'll be better and bigger next year. Just like, I think he said this year is the 18th or 19th year of the Turkey Derby. He built that up, the November race. Because you don't think of Missouri and racing in, February or November. But Jerry's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just watched him turn that dirt over and over, let it dry out, pack it, turn it over, and wow. Incredible show by Jerry Hoffman. Just want to give him a shout out. And congratulations, Kenny. That's still a nice win. Good trophy, 2036. And how far from the house for you?
It's 3 hours.
Yeah,
3 hours.
That's awesome.
200 miles, perfect.
Okay, so for me, I went to Austin, Texas for the NASCAR event. As they say, I just enjoy saying it. It's just so strange. Circuit of the America. And Kenny, it's outside of Austin. You can see the skyline. It is now I see why Formula One goes there. I mean, it is a wonderful facility, and it's a lot of land. We did the Trackside live show, which this is in its third year, and I enjoy doing it. I do a certain amount before, April gets here, and then I do more basically when dirt racing season's starting to come to an end. So it balances out for me. So Trackside Live was awesome. We had Denny Hamlin on. We had Shane Van Gisbergen, Ross Chastain. We have Ty Dillon. And it was a good show, good crowd. And so, All right, that's what we did, everybody, and we are going to talk NASCAR, but we got a little different format this time. We're gonna talk NASCAR, but Kenny and myself got some topics that came up. Okay, before we get going, we had Irish Saunders on Kenny Conversation, and Irish was basically the representative for Hoosier Tires for 40 years.
Yeah.
He told me this story about you naming your son Sheldon Schrader. And I'm not going to go too far, but Sheldon said, you know the story. You know why Kenny Schrader named his son Sheldon. He told me the story. It was very interesting. So please tell the audience why you named your son Sheldon.
We're at Nazareth, Pennsylvania, December 4th, 1982.
Wow.
Running Silver Crown race. Nazareth had been closed and they were just reopening it, but they had trouble getting permits. We back up to October. I'm racing out there, and Ronnie Schumann and I got into each other, and I broke a shoulder blade on one side and a collarbone on the other. It turned over a long time. And Ronnie and I were first and second in Silver Crown points, and Nazareth was the next weekend. So I was done. I couldn't race. But Nazareth didn't get their permits. They had trouble getting permits. So the race kept getting put off, and I was healed up enough. So it was December 4th.
Oh my gosh.
And I think Schumann's leading and we're second. And Mark Alderson had a chance of winning, and somebody else. Four of us had a chance, and it rained so hard Friday or Saturday. The race is Sunday, and so they're not going to be able to run it. And I mean, they're not going to be able to get it done. Running it's going to be tight. So they skip hot laps. They skip qualifying. They didn't skip hot laps. They skipped qualifying. We just pill draw for starting spots. 40-something cars. On the mile. It's dirt.
Yeah.
We drew the pole. Oh, it's perfect.
Wow.
Go out there and the car blows up. I'm driving for the 39 Rose Brothers trucking car of the Fortune family. And I went down Sheldon Kinzer, asked him if I could drive his car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he's like,
it's a big name
or something. Yeah. And he's probably 6th or 7th in points. And he said, yeah. And so I went back, running back up, got my helmet, got a right rear and left rear tire that we were going to run on our car. He said, what are those for? And I said, that's tires I think we ought to run. He said, get in the damn car and drive it. I said, yes, sir. So we got in, we started last and run 4th. And I didn't know, I knew we passed Schumann half a dozen cars back, so I thought we were okay. Came up on Vogler, who was running 3rd.
Wow.
And
hero.
Like, yeah, but it's like risk versus reward. I don't think I want to try to pass Richie. You know, no. I got a championship right here. So we wound up winning the championship, which was the first USAC championship that Hoosier Tire won.
Wow. And
it was we had pretty big time that night. And so, but I was always a Sheldon Kinzer fan. He helped me a whole lot. We told him, we said, we're going to name our son Sheldon. And
holy moly,
he was Sheldon after Sheldon Kinzer.
And your boy Sheldon, obviously, has he heard the story explained?
Oh yeah,
just like yeah.
He never got to meet Sheldon though.
God, you really admired Sheldon Kinzer, didn't you?
Oh yeah, a bunch of those guys, man.
Yeah,
bunch of those guys. Yeah. Well, everybody's like that when you start out racing and. Then you move up and you get to run some bigger races, and them guys you're running with are like, they're heroes, and it's just really
I enjoy being around you when I always enjoy being around you, but it really makes me happy when I'm with you, and one of those guys comes back. We might be at Volusia, and for everybody that's listening right now. Kenny Schrader will give me a shortcut. Like, I don't know the person.
Yeah.
But Kenny will look at me. You will look at me, and you'll just simply say, hero.
Yeah.
And I know that means that's big.
Yeah. So Jason Sides, that owns the 7 car, in the World Outlaws with the ponytail.
Yeah.
He comes up to me a couple years ago. He said, hey, we went back to the bar. We're at the motel. We went back to the bar. And there's this guy sitting at the bar. He wasn't, he was just, we were talking. We got talking about racing. The more we talked, the more he started talking. It sounds like he won a lot of races. Ran a modified, his kids runs a modified now. He ran a late model. I said, what's his name? He said, I don't know. I'll find out. We'll see him tonight. And they come back next night. They said, the guy's name's Mike Eddy. I said, oh, yeah, he's like a hero, all right. Yeah. And they brought him out. They brought him out the next night. But, I mean, them guys they were just so good,
Yeah. And for the people that don't know, Mike Eddy is one of the greatest short track racers of our time. And his son, I forgot, I got brain fade. His son's name, gosh
Eddie.
Darn it.
Yeah,
right. But Mike Eddy he is an ASA champion, and him and Dick Trickle and Bob Seneca, they were the first in ASA.
Yeah, and that's like when Mark Martin came in there. Holy heck! I mean that stuff was stacked then. Your brother was in there and stuff. I mean that was an unbelievable series at that time.
And that tells you what a phenomenon Mark Martin was, because he came there at like 16 years old and outrun those guys.
Yeah.
And okay, well, here we are deep into the show, and it's already been more fun than I could imagine planned. Let's talk NASCAR, Circuit of the Americas. So you saw enough of the race. Let me just say this, and I know I'm getting repetitive, but I'm excited, Kenny. Everybody agrees right now, and we'll dig deep into this. But, I mean, how could you ask for a better finish? Let me set it up for you. We had Kyle Busch leading. We had Christopher Bell on maybe 2-lap fresher tires, just hounding him. Willie B, William Byron, and now Tyler Reddick. So we got like 5 laps to go, and there's 4 drivers, and they are underneath each other and
not hitting one another.
What was that all about?
Well, no, it was great.
It was great.
There was a little bit of rub here and there, but first off, we didn't have a last lap yellow and have to figure out who won the race.
Praise the Lord.
But it's less chances on the road course of that. But it was just great racing. I mean, all 4 of those guys. I think Kyle's car might have got hickied up a little bit. Seabell got into him just a little bit there. But whatever. I mean, it was just a good race. They were running their butts off and doing it clean.
I want to go to something that, well, first of all, let's go back a minute. Kyle Busch is leading the race. Appears he's going to be okay. And then the caution comes out, which brings, Christopher Bell is clearly like the guy with the best tires.
Yeah, but the caution brought Christopher to his rear bumper instead of 2 or 3 car lengths back. I mean, it's not like there was any room there anyway,
Right. Now, yeah, you're exactly right. So now it's okay. We're going to re-rack them. But this is what Kyle Busch said after the race. When the race was over, Kyle Busch gives this really nice interview. He finishes like 4th. And Kyle Busch says, I was really being a nemesis. I was really being, I was being a butt to Christopher Bell. And he says, but if we keep running like this, we're going to get some wins. But Kyle was just trying to see, I think what Kyle was saying is I was just seeing how long I could hold him off.
Mm-hmm.
And the point is
what he's supposed to do. That's the job. Hold everybody off, win the race. But, I think he knew that Christopher had a faster car, but he was going to prolong this, try to prolong it until the checker flag and make it work.
And a little history, I think Kyle and Christopher knew. Christopher never, actually, we're going into turn 1, Kenny. I think you might have seen it. At one time, Christopher says, I'm going to dive bomb him.
Yeah.
And he aborts and cost himself.
Yeah.
He was going to clear Kyle Busch out.
Right.
So he thought better of it, and here's why, Kenny. We go back to last year's race, and Kyle goes into turn one, same area, and he's going to arc in, and Christopher did clear him out last year.
Yeah. It's a tough business. A lot of that going on.
So the race goes on. Christopher gets by him clean. William Byron gets by him clean. I think Tyler Reddick does. I got the finish here. We'll go through it in a minute. But even TV, so I'm on the airplane now. I'm headed here to Daytona, but Steve O'Donnell's on the airplane. All these NASCAR people are on my airplane, so they all got it on their phones. Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer on the Fox broadcast are like, we can't believe that William Byron is not hitting, Christopher Bell in the rear. So, Kenny, it's fair to say that this is one of the first NASCAR races we've seen in a long time where they didn't take each other out. Why do you think that was?
Well, first off, it wasn't restrictor plate racing.
True.
And you weren't, even though they're close, they're running as close as they can. They're not jammed up side by side,
Yeah, they got to take their shot here. It'd be obvious.
Yeah. And, it's a little hard to make it look kind of discreet.
I have a thought, and I want you to respond. It wasn't until the race was over and like a PR guy was sitting next to me from Chevrolet. And I said, I wonder why William didn't hit him. And I said, oh, maybe. Everybody wants to win, but William Byron won Daytona 500. Christopher Bell, won Atlanta, but maybe it's because William Byron won the Daytona 500. Maybe he doesn't need to take out, Christopher Bell because he's got to win. Is there anything to that?
Oh, there's definitely something to it, but, first off, now you're worried about, like, Bell and Byron. It's cool for them. They're worried about a championship now. They're not worried about Chase. They're worried about championship. So, I don't know. If they thought they had enough to get it done, without obviously just going up there and knocking them out of the way, they'd done everything they could. Couldn't get it done.
Okay, we'll leave it right there, everybody. My thought is the reason William Byron does not take out Christopher Bell is because he's already won a race. He's, basically in history, this locks William Byron in the playoffs, is what history says. So, all right. And we're going to keep talking about it a little bit, Kenny, but let me do the old for people. I hear people say, hey, we didn't know that. So our top 10, let's do it real quick. Christopher Bell wins the race. William Byron second. Tyler Reddick third. No, I was wrong. Chase Elliott was coming at the end.
Yeah, and he came from. I know he was last at the end of the first lap.
Wow. Yeah, right. He got in that big wreck.
Yeah, and I don't know if he got put back later on in the race too.
I think he made up 2 laps. I really do. So Chase Elliott fourth, Kyle Busch fifth, Shane Van Gisbergen sixth, Chris Buescher seventh, good run for Noah Gragson in eighth, Alex Bowman ninth, Todd Gilliland 10th. And Kenny, one thing I want to point out, and I want to bring up to you, Noah Gragson and Todd Gilliland. Noah's 8th, Todd Gilliland 10th. That's Front Row Motorsports. Mm-hmm. It's official. So-called, they call, years ago they'd call them lesser teams. With this new next-gen car, they run good now.
Yeah, everybody got the same stuff. You might not have the same people. You can't really test all stuff. It's brought everybody so much closer together. That's why we had so many winners. The first year of the next gen car was it 18 or something like that. But it's really brought the fields together. Yeah.
Okay. These are a couple things, my takeaways while I was at the racetrack. This Connor Zilic, this phenomenon. This, another young, like you said, they're everywhere now.
They're everywhere.
Okay, but we know he's good, and he was caught up in the early wreck. I think they had to fix the car, but he's coming through the field. Daniel Suarez spins out, and I mean it's like Days of Thunder. There's smoke, and this in-car camera. They have this in-car camera in Connor's car, and I mean you can't see nothing. And all of a sudden, there's Daniel Suarez, and Connor Zill is just, it's a big one. So my question to you is can you ever remember the time you went, oh no, and you were going through smoke?
Daytona back straightaway, man. I mean, they're wrecking their butts off, and it's like you go into the smoke, and it's like, well, I can't see anything. Spotter can't say anything. Well, I'm not going to listen to him anyway. He's 3/4 of a mile away, up real high, and we're all in the smoke. And I came out of the smoke, and it was clear. And Dale Jarrett,
the Lord.
Dale Jarrett was sitting sideways in the interstate battery car, and I drove in his right door, and I drove in. I was about 1.5 feet from the drive shaft.
Oh my gosh!
I was thrilled that it was the right side of that car.
Oh,
because I've never seen door bars like that. But we all go to the infield care center together. But yeah, I mean, you come out of smoke and it's either clear, or there's a couple things spinning that you might have a chance of missing, or you just run into it. And this one was like right there, so there wasn't much you could do.
Yeah, Dale Jarrett. Now you got me thinking. Dale Jarrett is the one that made NASCAR stop our group, our era, racing back to the, through the caution.
I think that was Loudon.
Loudon.
Wasn't it Loudon?
Spun out driver's door off of turn 4.
Yeah.
And we're all racing around him like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah. No, we were doing what we were supposed to do. We were doing what the rules stated to do.
And NASCAR said, "Okay, that's it, guys. We've seen we're close to death and destruction." So there's no telling how many millions of dollars they've spent, putting the timing lines every, 200 yards or whatever it is, 100-yard cameras. So, okay, so Kenny, my experience was Darlington. Coming down the back, what is the back straightaway? I think it was the back straight. I can't remember. But there's smoke. And I mean, I forgot who I was behind. I was up somebody's rear. And at the last minute, they turned left. And I hit Teddy Musgrave so hard. Oh, my God. I hit him so hard, I was like, oh, one of those deals.
I saw in the highlight reels for COTA in the rain a couple years ago. Was it Cole Custer run into Truex in the rain?
Him up.
Yeah, wow, he was completely under him. And then the footage of was it Kyle Busch that went through those two cars? He couldn't get stopped. Went in front of one and behind the other.
Yeah, and I think Martin Truex was involved in that.
Yeah.
They lifted. Oh, it was wild. Well, that's Days of Thunder stuff. Okay, we're going to end up NASCAR. So when we did Trackside Live, we had Denny Hamlin on, and, we're stalling a little bit because Denny's a minute late. And so we're creating questions to ask the fans. And it's
a minute late. We're 8 hours today doing this show.
Oh yeah,
he's a minute late. We're 8 hours.
Well, usually when you do these shows, the next driver is, there waiting to come up. The fans are excited. We've promoted them, and so anyway, we're stalling a little bit, and we at John Roberts, and Jose Castillo, and we're like. Johnny's like, okay, race fans, why is NASCAR doing so much better now? And I mean, the fans didn't even They didn't say they weren't. One fan raised his hand and said, yes, sir, why is NASCAR doing better now? It amazed me the knowledge these fans have. The guy says, because the tires are better. Well, then at the same time, Denny Hamlin comes up, and then the fans go nuts. So we kind of got this mashed potatoes of why is racing so much better? And here comes Denny, and it's just all. And so then we say, Denny, is he right? Are the tires better? Denny Hamlin agreed. He talked, just about, Denny's a big proponent of tires. And you and we've been talking about this. But I think the statement I want to make to you and just hear what you have to say is, yes, we've got great weather. But do you think that component, the tires did fall off 2 to 3 seconds when you race or when you raced in NASCAR?
Back in the day?
Yeah, but still, I mean, you and I ran Darlington.
Yeah. Well, I think that the tires need to drop off, and you wind up with different guys, and different life tires out there. I mean, some got a lot of laps on them, and they stay out for a little bit longer and stuff. I think that's important. I don't think the racing has got a ton better. I think it was good before.
Yeah.
People are just getting over being pissed off.
Boy, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I finally thought to myself, okay, the racing has been unbelievable. It's, that Atlanta finish was unbelievable. This one was crazy. What I mean by this is, at the end of these NASCAR races, you don't turn the TV off, is what I mean. You're like, whoa, let's see, So I agree with you. I think people I was like that too. When are people going to be exhausted talking bad? So
it's not all the people. It's not all the people. It's just some people.
This leads me to this. So there is an executive at Fox Sports. His name is Jake Jolly. I know Jake very well. And he would produce, the Where Wallace is when I was working for Fox. And Jake is pretty powerful. I mean, he controls a lot of things. And so all of a sudden on X, after the race, everybody's on their way home. And he says, why do NASCAR fans complain so much? So let me read this. He puts this up. Now, they got this, there's this thing called Chat GPT. It's this very high-end computer system, and you ask it a question and give it 30 seconds, and it, you know what it is. Everybody's learning. It tells you the real reason. I don't know what it is,
but
You can say, I want to start a NASCAR Cup team. How do I go about it? And it's unbelievable. Actually, NASCAR, Roger Penske, everybody is using this now. The very high-end companies are using it. But anyway, so here's what Jake Jolly says. I just asked Grok. Now, Grok is on X. It's this high-end computer system, just like Chat GPT. I just asked Grok, why do NASCAR fans complain so much? It gave me 4 long, and he's got all these O's, paragraphs, but the last sentence summed it up. And here's what the high-end computer system said. Still, the loudest fans are usually the unhappy ones. It's just human nature. So, it just sure is nice, Kenny. It just
don't worry.
Like
they'll start complaining again. It ain't no big deal. They'll start it, but it's good right now. It's been good.
Yeah.
Just nobody's complaining right now.
Yeah. Okay. This is the point in the show where we are going to do some things we haven't done before. And I just picked these topics up.
Okay.
Kyle Petty. Kyle has got some great takes. Obviously, his dad's Richard Petty. His dad's a 7-time NASCAR Cup champion. And you know Kyle is going to favor his dad, but he's very neutral. And he says this, Kenny. Kyle Petty brought this up. Jimmie Johnson, who is a 7-time Cup champion, he says Jimmie Johnson, 5 straight championships, still not getting the respect. Jimmy's feat of 5 straight Cup championships is lost and not respected. So and I agree with this. So my question to you is, Jimmie Johnson rattled off 5 championships in a row. Anything in life, any sport is hard to do.
I don't know. I know. I never got one. It seemed like a pretty hard deal to get one.
Yes, good point.
But that's amazing. 5 in a row. But Jimmy did it he did it same team, same sponsor, no big changes, same crew chief, no drama, not running into people, not getting into big arguments at the racetrack, not crashing one another. Just did it without all the drama. Quietly won 5 championships in a row just by winning races and finishing really good in the, all the time. He wasn't controversial. I mean, he just was friggin' fast. And then he left our sport. He left our sport and went IndyCar racing. So it's not like he was there every week. But yeah, he even when he did it, he just did it so without all the controversy. So I just, but it's unbelievable he did it. I know how big it talk about teams. So going back to that dang Super Bowl, that was going to be the first time someone ever won 3, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So 5 in a row was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that King Richard Petty, Dale Sr., and Jimmie Johnson all won 7? What is it? Is it voodoo? Nobody could get to 8. It's 7.
Well,
it's just a beer. It's just a beer drinking talk. It is amazing though that 3 of them are at 7.
Yeah. It's amazing that 3 of them did that good.
Yeah.
And Dale's were amazing. The Kings were, I don't know what the years were. Was King's first one in 64 maybe?
Man, I don't know.
Need that Moog poster. There's one on the other side of the shop.
Oh.
Because Moog supplied all those champions. But King did a bunch of them. That was a different era. Dale's seniors were a different era. Jimmy's were, that was tough. Not that nothing taken away from the other ones, but, they were all tough.
Great opinion, and I love them. And I don't even know if I can add on, but I would say the reason Jimmie Johnson's championships have been forgotten and not celebrated is he was just too perfect. He was he did it all perfectly. There's no sound bites. He never was mad at anybody. He was always out front. You couldn't catch him.
Did he ever throw a water bottle at anybody? I don't know.
I don't even think there's a highlight of Jimmie Johnson getting into it.
Yeah.
So there it is, everybody. Jimmie Johnson was just too perfect, too nice. I mean, even Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton got on a fight in the back straightaway at Texas. I mean, Jeff Gordon, he shoved Jeff Burton. I mean, there's some dirt on Jeff Gordon, but absolutely zero. There's a funny story, I think, where Jimmy was having fun on a golf course and he was on top of a roof of a golf cart.
Yeah.
And
small injury.
He was having a good time that day.
It's a tough business. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, as I always joke, respond right here. Jimmie Johnson, and even Dale Jr. has discussed this topic, but Kyle Petty kind of brought it into perspective. You never forget 7 championships, but Kyle brought it into perspective. 5 in a row. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's insane.
It's amazing.
It is. Okay. Well, maybe he'll be celebrated more down the road. But I agree with you too. He
Well,
just left the sport.
He run third at Daytona.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
third at
That was
Daytona.
awesome.
Yeah.
And we talked about that on a Herm Schrader show.
Yeah.
He was emotional because he owns the team. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay. Like I said, this is a little different, and I hope everybody enjoys it. IndyCar. They went to St. Petersburg, the streets of St. Petersburg, and Alex Palou, he won. Scott Dixon was second. Joseph Newgarden was third. But this is not the story. The story is that Bob Pockras, who is a major reporter, NASCAR reporter for Fox, Jamie Little, they sent Fox Network, took some of our big time reporters and said, hey, you're going to go cover the first IndyCar race of the year in St. Pete. To me, Kenny, besides the Indianapolis 500, this is a big deal for IndyCar. What is your thought? Do you think IndyCar is going to be elevated? Do you think it's going to be more famous because Fox TV is putting in this massive effort?
Well, the biggest race, in our country is Indianapolis 500.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I agree.
by far, far bigger than Daytona 500.
Yes.
Where the NASCAR Cup Series is, probably more. I mean, it is more popular right now, but the IndyCar Series has a huge head start on us. I mean, you take the 500, both the 500s, Indianapolis 500, 1911, Daytona 500, 59.
Yeah.
So it's a huge head start, and the IndyCar Series was bigger for
Yes.
years. But NASCAR's done a tremendous job of growing our sport. I don't see where they're competition to each other.
Yeah.
I think anything that NASCAR drivers, and with Fox being involved in both, that's great to put some interchange there between the two series. Bring more attention to the Indy fans, or from our NASCAR fans, make them more aware of the Indy, what's going on there, and vice versa with the Indy fans, make them more aware of what we got going on. But it's got to be good. I mean, I think Fox has just been good for our sport, and when I say our sport, I just mean automobile racing.
Yeah. I think when we go back through history, for the kids that don't know, and I forgot the name of it. Was it IndyCar, and then they split, and then it became CART?
Yeah, it was.
That was a
IndyCar.
mess.
Yeah,
that was a mess, and it killed them.
It didn't help. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't kill them. So it's pretty wild because I think it has taken them that long, really. And we had, and we've said this before, we had Michael Andretti on Kenny Conversation. He just said that it's very expensive to promote the sport and to get these major networks to put massive effort. I don't remember the last time a network putting, they got really good commercials and man,
they had some neat commercials for St. Peter's with the driver, with the different drivers. They had some really cool commercials.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think cross promotion is going to be good. We had Joseph Newgarden at the Nashville concrete track on Trackside Live. So he came to the racetrack. You could see it starting back then. And I always say it's so crazy. Joseph Newgarden, you're thinking he's from Germany or Sweden, and he's from Nashville, Tennessee.
He was at my daughter's wedding.
What?
Yeah. Grant Hodges, son-in-law.
Yeah.
I get him, Joseph and him went to school together. Good friends.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. He's at the wedding. I'm like, that's that Indy, the fast guy. And I got to talk to him. And then he ran an SRX race one time with us.
Oh, yeah.
But and it's just like
It's wild.
It's not just it's not our series. Or their series. It's all these sports. It's so many of them good young kids, and I don't know how old Joseph is now, but the resume
He's
got. No, he's not old. The resume that he's got already, and driving for Roger, and he could, as long as he's performing and they're doing what they need to do, no telling how long he could be there. I mean, it's just the sky's the limit what they could accomplish.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think it's good. For a while there, I know some, people were complaining, oh my God, but listen, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be good.
They were helping promote the races or what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There were some complaints, they're trying to.
You know what? I don't listen to all that bull. It don't make any difference. Let them complain. I still hear about. I mean, I'm still so tired of hearing about stages. It's like, come on, that's been how many years now? It's 2 friggin' yellow flags. Let it go.
Yeah, I agree. I do. Okay, we're winding down here, but we've had some good talks. Now this one's going to be incredibly different, and I hope you go with me on it. I've seen a big comeback in trading cards. You go to the racetrack, and these fans at the racetrack, they don't look old. They're kids. There was a lot of trading cards, and then it's in a weird way. Dale Jr. makes a big deal about Panini trading cards. Have you not seen this? Do you know anything about it? Are trading cards making a comeback?
I most definitely don't know anything about that for sure.
Right.
But I know that I saw you do something the other day where you had a table full. Yeah. And I've never got a table full because we sign them every couple of days.
Yeah, but, you're good at that.
But they come every day from. It's very seldom anymore that you see one that you hadn't seen for. I don't know the last time I saw one I hadn't seen before, but they've been out 80s. Yeah.
Well, it seems like I see that. But anyway, that's all good. Okay, everybody, we have done a good job. We've talked about a lot. Okay, hey, look at this. Here he comes. Look at this.
Whoa, that's the hero up there.
Schrader?
What's up, Rusty?
Schrader, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, sir?
Oh, man, this is cool.
Next year.
Well, we're here at the house. What's he saying?
Hold on. Go ahead, Kenny.
Next year, I'm coming to Bike Week with my camper.
He's coming to Bike Week with his camper. He's coming down here next year.
He don't need no damn camper. He stay with us.
Yeah. Whoa. I don't know. I'm pretty old. I don't know if I can keep up with that partying now.
He says he's getting old. He don't know if he can keep up with your partying.
I don't party at all.
Yeah, okay.
All I do is just nice glass of Chardonnay every now and then. That's about it. That's all we do. So we got me and Patty and all the motorcycle guys here right now, and Uncle Herman. Yeah, we're all doing good. And man, I tell you what, I think of motorcycles. I actually think of you, Kenny, because you were one of the lead guys.
I told you, Kenny.
That guy, Kenny, can ride. I mean, when we were running NASCAR, and you had to get out of the track quick. Kenny had the damn his motocross bike to get out of that damn thing, But no, we're looking good. Hey, I just want to let you know we got spaghetti, and we got French bread, and we got all the fixings. Okay. Okay. And and when you getting off this thing?
He's quick.
Kenny, you got a last comment, Kenny?
No, you don't have to get off right now. We got 15 minutes.
Okay. We run a race at Portsmouth, Ohio.
Ran a race at Portsmouth, Ohio.
And we fly into Jackson, the King Air I bought from you. We fly into Jackson, Michigan. And we hopped on a Suzuki scooter.
Who did? Me and you?
You and I.
Yeah, me and him jump on his Suzuki scooter.
And
I believe that totally.
We go from the airport to go into the tunnel. Oh. It's 2:30 and 2:30
Jackson
in the morning.
Airport. We go all the way. I'm riding bitch.
Yeah,
and I ride.
You did that today.
I did. Yeah. I rode with Steven to get my bike.
Well,
2:30.
Kenny, we love you to death, buddy. We wish you
All
come
right,
down
buddy.
here and hang out with us. I know we haven't seen each other in a long time, but
I'll be down.
you're awesome, man. And I know you done so much, but hey, our life's different right now, man. We're in this motorcycle stuff and all that stuff. And we met so many NASCAR fans down here today. We're having so much fun. And anybody has not experienced this, you should try to experience it. It was so much fun. There's so many cool people.
I'm coming next year, buddy.
He's coming next year.
All right.
All right, everybody.
You're invited. You're going to be
Okay.
right here. You're staying right here in my house. And we're
Okay.
going to have a great time.
All right.
Yeah. And Mike Helton is known to stop by here.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So
You don't get your ass here in 15 minutes.
I'm-
You're eating seconds.
I'm already in trouble. Here I go. I'm coming out right now, brother.
Rusty's
Rusty's good to me.
Oh, he's great. We pulled up to that gate guard. He stands there and blocks the gate.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's
Forget it.
2:30 in the morning. We stop because that's what we got to do. And we get out our hard cards. We got them out, ready to show them. And we lift up our helmets. And he said, "What are you two clowns doing out here on a scooter at 2:30 in the morning?" So we had to explain to him.
We got a NASCAR Cup race to run tomorrow.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did some crazy stuff. You and I
Yeah.
go off. Yeah. Well, hey, but Kyle Larson said you haven't seen anything yet. So Kyle Larson's does some wild stuff
Oh,
now.
yeah.
But
Yep.
you won that night. That was a big win for you at Portsmouth. And that's another story. But okay, you're going to be proud of me because we are coming up. We are 53 minutes long, and we like to keep Herm Schrader at an hour. It's time for jokes, Kenny.
Okay.
Time
I'm
for
listening.
jokes.
I don't have any today.
Well, they're about the same, Okay, here we go. I think this is kind of funny. Why are undertakers such good tippers? They pay an arm and a leg. So, an undertaker, basically somebody that embalms your dead, and I guess the undertaker steals somebody's arm and a leg. So, okay.
Okay.
I said, yeah, I agree. Okay, here we go. This is like a child's one, but it's
I got a
kinda
good
funny.
friend in Nebraska that he's in my phone. Coal to
Yeah.
ashes. He owns a crematorium.
Oh my God. Hey, Butch Miller, the great, ASA racer, his car owner, did the same thing. Well, he owned a funeral home. But I said, if you embalm bodies, I just can't get past that. God. So that's two people we know now that basically, yeah. Okay. The second joke. I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. Okay.
Guy
The
told me
next one.
guy tried to sell him a coffin, but he said that's the last thing he needed.
That's a good one.
That's not bad.
That's a good joke. That's a good one. You pay taxes on your coffin. That's another. You're taxed to death. I've heard that before. Okay. I wondered why the baseball was getting bigger. Then it hit me.
I like
The best one in a long one.
that.
That's the
Yeah.
best one in a long time. Why did the robber jump in the shower? He wanted to make a clean getaway.
Oh.
Oh, people. Okay. Well, Kenny Schrader, that is it, buddy.
What are you doing next weekend?
Let me see. What am I? Okay, so I'm coming home on Thursday. I'm not doing nothing. Kim and I will leave Friday for Vegas, but I'm not doing nothing. So today, we taped this show. We're early in the week. I don't think I'm doing anything Saturday or Sunday. Why?
Okay. I just wonder. I'm gonna go to Amelia Island again for the car show down there.
Oh, that's
pretty-
big.
that's-
That Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon?
I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna see Ray down there for sure. Yeah, but it's the third year I went, and first year it's like, what the hell am I going for? But it is pretty cool.
Okay, we'll end on this, and I do want to know a little bit more about it. I'm going to say it in my redneck style, and then you correct me. This is an event that Rick Hendrick, Ray Evernham, Jeff Gordon, and it's very, very high-end cars. What is this all about?
It's not that high end. They got me going.
That's because you're famous.
No,
They need you.
They got some neat, unbelievable cars. But 2 years ago, Everham was the one that they honored. Last year, Rick was. And so those 2 years I went. And then this year, Ray asked me if I wanted to come down. I said, hell yeah, I want to come down. So going down there.
And you showed me pictures, I believe. Last year was unbelievable because Rick did it right. Didn't he have like a lot of his cars?
He had a lot of cars there. It was really cool.
Yeah. And what's that called again?
Well, it's just,
yeah.
I'm sure it's got a real name. It's just Amelia Island car show to me, but it's not just a friggin' car show. It's
big.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's big. All right, everybody. That is Herm and Schrader show. And Kenny, I don't know. It feels like the 14th one, maybe not, but we're rolling. Thank you, everybody. We're having a good time. And we talked about what we did. We talked about what's up. And so keep
Vegas
question
next week.
The next week, not this week, but the next week. Yeah, I'm going to Vegas for Trackside Live. I'm excited for April 5th. The opener at Peevely Speedway. I know you don't own the track anymore, but
I'm at Tyler County, West Virginia that night.
Ooh, I think I've raced there with you maybe once.
I've only been there once.
All right, everybody. Herm Schrader, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.